Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into Electric Kingdom Live. I am here with someone very, very special to the station. Many of you probably know her. You love her. She's right here with us. SDRV. Do you want to say hi?
Hey.
How does it feel to be back here?
It feels great. I mean, it's not like I've been here like every week. No, I'm really happy to be back for this episode specifically because it's alumni week and I'm like freshly graduated from UM, so it's super nice to be back, even though I'm here like all the time because Sylvia's like the best person
Aww.
and always does like little things here in the office. If you haven't checked out the office yet, like hopefully you get a chance to because
it's swanky.
It's such a cool space, by the way.
It is. We've had this office for, I don't even know, but it's alumni week, so there's a lot of, past alumni coming in and out of here, and they just keep like always mentioning how different everything is, like the studio, the office. But yeah, it's great to have you back here. And do you want to tell us like a little bit of what you've been up to since graduation?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I currently work at the New York Film Academy. That's based in like LA, New York, and Miami. I'm a TA. I'd be helping in the editing room. So I've been doing that, and I also DJ part-time, which I started actually because of WVUM. So that's like a whole thing. But yeah, I still DJ now and starting to make some music and just like I'm literally just following my passions and stuff. We'll see where that takes us.
You always have so many ideas. I feel like every week you're talking about like a new concept, and it's like, it can be for events or for concept albums. So it's just really cool because you're just a really creative person.
Oh my gosh, you too.
Oh my god, thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, shout out the Andy's Connection. If you guys didn't know, we are also a duo, both DJing and producing. And we actually have a show coming up soon, this Saturday. Shout out Pantheon World. It's gonna be at the Casa Tiki. But yeah, how does it feel? I don't know. I guess being in a duo and working on music together.
Oh my gosh. Wait, before I answer that,
yeah.
Can we all give a little like introduction of ourselves? Like who is in the room right now?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we haven't done that. I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it's okay. But I'll circle back.
Yeah.
Y'all
go well.
First.
I'm Sylvia. I also go by Rude Boy, current host of EKL for the semester. Y'all know Steffi.
My name's Steffi, also known as SDRV, my full like Latin initials, my Latin name initials. I was previous host of EKL, and we're back for tonight.
I'm Pujan, not a DJ. Have been a part of WVM since 22.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah. Long time lurker.
We're all lurkers.
No, you're a part
if you're
of the
tuning
family.
in, you're lurking right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. I never thought about it that way. So yeah, going back to the whole duo thing, how does it feel to produce music together?
Oh my gosh, I think it's like the best thing to like have ever like occurred. Like, wait, can we give a brief story on how Sylvia and I met? Like, I want to give a brief story on that.
Go for it.
And yeah, let's do a little trip down memory lane. Sylvia and I met here at the station, and I remember like tuning in randomly. I had like a really rough day. I remember that day that I tuned in to this specific time, but it was like 3 p.m. and all I heard was someone speaking on the radio talking about like the history of Gabber. Like I tuned into 90.5, and yeah, some like, I don't know. I just really wanted to meet this person that was talking about Gabber. Like the whole show was dedicated to that. And at the time I kind of just like was getting into the whole rave scene and like discovering more like underground music at that time. So just like, I like drove back and went inside to the studio, and I'm like, hi, I'm Steffi. I think you're so cool. Like the show that you're doing. So yeah, that's how Sylvia and I met. And then also through our friend Phil, like their house shows.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise, honestly, when you did that, because up until then I had just like done my shows in the studio, and nobody ever like really came by or anything, so it just felt like a very more like personal thing rather than something that like I got to share with somebody else. So that was like really nice, like meeting Steffi and just like sharing that same interest for like the same music, because at the time, like besides Phil, I didn't really know anybody at the station that was like that. And we've been besties ever since.
You know, it's crazy because I feel like if anyone on the outside were to like look at you two, they would think you guys have been friends for like years, for like longer than just like uni.
Aww.
Like there's kind of like a two peas in a pod kind of a little
It's the Andy's
effect going on.
connection.
No, literally plug that.
Sister.
Shout out TAC. No, but we're honestly like just really trying to push out more music lately, and it's something that we've been wanting to do for so long. So it really feels like now is kind of the time when we finally have like the knowledge and the resources that we've kind of been needing this whole time. And you know, we have like a lot of friends that are also like amazing producers that we've planned several like studio sessions with, and it's just something that we're really excited to keep working on this year. So look out for maybe a project by the end of this year.
Yes. Please be on the lookout. We're kind of like in and out of the Ableton factory at the moment, you know.
True. Very true.
Having fun.
Drop the
And
pre-save link.
We're gonna eventually.
Coming soon. But we do have the pictures already. The photo shoot.
Oh, we do. Shout out
the photo
Giano
shoot.
Curry.
Yeah, shout out Giano.
Amazing photographer.
And do you want to give a little bit of like of a brief background of what you do now, like your involvement with Internet Friends and the Miami music scene?
Yeah, so all of that started while I was like in college, which is crazy. Yeah, I'd really just like needed an escape at the time for all the stress of like just being in school and like dealing with like a relationship and all that. But yeah, so I'm a part of Internet Friends, which is a queer femme collective from Miami that throws raves, and we're eventually trying to become like a label that represents like Miami queer techno. So yeah, started by Gami, Ultra Them, long time ago. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. Like I've always looked up to Gami and to Summer, the other member. It's us three for now, but yeah, we're just like, you know, just trying to keep like queerness alive in like the underground scene and all that. But yeah, what else?
That was a kooky time, like the early Internet Friends parties.
Like what year?
Like the probably well, maybe not super early, but at least when I first started becoming like going to Internet Friends parties, I think it was like around 2020.
Right after COVID.
Yeah, and they were still doing, you know, just like the super DIY like warehouse raves. I feel like now Gami has, you know, a lot more connections to like venues and venue owners here in Miami.
Yeah, we definitely get a taste of like Europe for sure. At the Ground, at Domicile, RIP. Yeah, there's so many things. Miami has a lot going on right now.
Okay, so should we? You brought up Domicile.
Oh my god.
Should we just like brush over that? We don't have to like share too many details, but I feel like we should kind of talk about it just because it kind of leads into the bigger topic of like safe spaces in queer nightlife and like what separates one from like one that isn't. So if you guys didn't know, Domicile is a venue here in Miami that's been around for a long time now. I think maybe they were first popping up in like 2019, maybe. I'm not super familiar with like the origin, but I started going there maybe like 2021, and they've always been, you know, like the heart of that place is like techno. And I think within like techno crowds, there's just like certain, I guess, like genres of what your techno crowd can look like. And I feel like there's a lot of like separation within that. But yeah, do any of you want to expand on that? Like kind of the separation between techno crowds specifically?
I have something small to add. I feel like domicile can be, I feel like it can be categorized in two different demographics. One is lied within its founding, and I feel like it's a very Eurocentric kind of techno crowd. Um, I mean, you can tell from like, you know, the lineup, like no shade or anything, but you know, very much like Berlin-esque or that kind of scene. And then you had another kind of demographic, and up and coming one that was not only highlighted by domicile but other venues that didn't traditionally cater to that demographic, which was in this case queer techno and the artists within here in Miami-Dade.
You,
Cool.
Steffi, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, like I think Domicile gave a lot of opportunities to different locals, different touring artists too from around the world. I think it's a really nice spot for people that love electronic techno music specifically, like to go and like meet up. The outside area was really, really great. I feel like so many connections were made in the backyard of Domicile. Yeah. But there is like, I feel like a new wave of like techno happening where it's like kind of more like I hate to say this, but like based off of like what's popular on like TikTok and like what you think techno music is, kind of just like a basic thing. But there's like more like, you know, genres to it, like hypnotic. And I think Domicile definitely like touched on all that. And like they were able to give like Gami, like internet friends, a chance to like play more queer techno. And then they gave like Pero del Futuro, like all the different collectives, at least, you know, a chance to showcase their sound, like their electronic sound. That's all under subgenres of techno in a way, you know, it could all be blended. So yeah, I think like it is a spot to be missed, because I feel like that's maybe for the newer techno crowd, that might have been like the first spot you like found out about. Might have been like other venues like Boombox or like there's so many other cool just like DIY venues in Miami that are great. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, shout out to Domicile for definitely being one of like the only spaces that isn't like a big nightclub in Miami
Mm-hmm.
that gives that opportunity to queer collectives and organizers to plan those parties there. It definitely is more of like just about what type of audience techno tends to draw, and like how Domicile, even despite like making like really, really good efforts to, you know, make sure that safety is in place at your venue. Like these are still things that just happen because of like the nature of where you are. It's like a party, everything's dark, like a lot of people are on something. So it's really just about like that kind of energy and making sure that you're keeping your people safe from that.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with kind of like, I don't know, the kind of culture that in the, I would say like alternative rave scene that a lot of people in our community have. I feel like harm reduction is such a really important thing that I feel like the Miami crowd, we tend to not acknowledge as much in daily practice. I mean, it is such, I feel like it's a great thing to, you know, point that out too, because I mean that also has an impact in our community. And those, I feel like there's one side of the crowd that has access to, you know, every single resource or whatever when it comes to taking care of themselves. And then you have a crowd that is largely filled with a varied socioeconomic class of people. Is it really easy to get access to these things at the same time? Is that responsibility on the venue? Like, is it on the community as a whole? How do we kind of, you know, kind of deal with that as well? Because I feel like that's also been a topic I've been hearing lately within my spheres.
Also, like consent within queer spaces, that's something that's very much, you know, just another thing that should be a priority. And consent in general in a party space where, you know, it's not always like explicitly implied, but you know, that just also like ties into the safety that you should, the level of expectation that you should have for like safety at these types of environments. But yeah, that's another thing. I wanted to share a story really quick. But Steffi and I always like go to the ground or club space, and there was just one time where I remember Miss Kitten was playing in the Hacker, if you remember.
We're getting into it. Okay, everyone, listen up.
But yeah, it was just this like, it was very much, you know, just a wide range of who the audience was. Like there were people that were like much older than you would typically expect to see there, because, you know, Miss Kitten and the Hacker are just like that loved. But we were just like walking into the venue, and these group of like older men just rushed up against us and like specifically me, grabbed my hand. And then there was also just like other instances where we were on the dance floor that night, and a lot of like, again, like just random men kept trying to like really hard to dance with us. But yeah, that's like another thing that I feel like really should be a priority. I feel like people that go to these, I mean, you know, you can't really have that much control over who is going to be at these places, but having like measures where people feel comfortable like going up to security or going up to one of the staff members to express that like someone there has made them uncomfortable should always be in place. And that's like another thing. I've also had experiences with like just DIY raves where, you know, like you don't necessarily have the budget for security, so you run that risk of not having backup in case one of those situations does arise. But yeah, that's also something that really should be like not as much of a problem as it is. Do you guys want to speak on any of that?
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah, as much as like it's like hard to hear, it really has to do with how much like finances you have and how much like resources you like have as a organizer in a way. But I think safety should be the first priority. Like that should be like just basic. I don't know, making sure you have security, making sure you have all that. Yeah, being in a party setting, unhinged, on substances can be, you know, an experience. With music, sometimes you don't even need substances. It's the music. It's bumping. It's loud. Wear earplugs. Reminder.
Especially with this younger crowd.
Yeah.
And like TikTok shop and all of these like crazy things that you can buy, like, you know, that can do harm to you with, I don't know, especially coming from just like how you were talking about the newer like techno crowd, how it's very much like super like hard style focused, and it's not really much of a focus on like, I guess, the music and like playing a set that takes you kind of on a journey and that is kind of like a form of artistic expression. But again, that's, you know, just getting into like semantics about what artistic expression is.
Yeah, like we don't really know, you know. Like there could be artistic expression in anything, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
but I get what you're saying. I totally get where you're coming from.
But because don't get me wrong, some artists like really do it so flawlessly. Like I love Rebecca so much.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And she is like such a talented, like she's also just such a performer. Like she really gets into like her groove when she's playing, and she does it all like on Tractor too, I believe. So
it's the clout DJs for me that get me. The ones that like I don't know. Like
the build-ups and like the holding your arms in the air before the bass drops. Like
yikes.
Oh my god, we sound like snobs.
But
it's just a preference, it's an opinion.
Sorry guys. We don't mean anything by it. Don't listen to us.
There's this academic paper called Screw Nuance, and you know what? I feel like it applies in this case too. We don't have to explain ourselves because we saw those clips in 2020 of those bedroom DJers on TikTok with the transition from like Travis Scott something in Astroworld to like a Don Toliver. I don't know.
Yeah, like some crazy mashups. It's like, ooh, you would never think this song goes well with this other song. But honestly, sometimes it is fun to hit like a mashup in real life. But I don't know. It's just like a little cringe when it's like, whoa.
Okay, I have a question for everyone. if you don't mind me asking, kind of has to do with what we're talking about right now, but how do you think like technology has affected like DJing and just like music in general? Like I feel like what's your take on like the old school versus like now, especially because it's alumni week. You see a bunch of like old heads, not to be like that. I love you guys so much, but
OGs, pioneers.
but we're gonna be that eventually one day. We're gonna be the old heads coming back. Hopefully technology is like advanced where we're like a hologram and something. We're like talking. I'm just kidding. But anyways, what's your take on that? Technology and music and DJing.
Talking like turntables like that.
Yes, that like whatever you perceive.
I mean, I think it's nice that it's like there's, I guess, less of a learning curve now, because anybody
True.
can like, you know, go spend $150 on just a starter board, a starter DJ board, and you know, get to learning how to DJ right away.
More accessible. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
DJing
so
is way more accessible for sure.
it's nice that it's more accessible in that way. But it's definitely, I guess, kind of, well, it's just like a different, I guess, art form of DJing, because you still have like vinyl DJs now that,
Respect.
yeah, exactly, respect, but it's just like so much more knowledge that you have to have, and like so much more technical skill to be a vinyl DJ versus just a digital DJ. So I don't think it's like been limiting. Like I think it's nice that more people have access to it. I think it's just like a different type of DJing that's become more accessible now.
Nice. Pujan here is. You're a great DJ, by the way.
You are, yeah.
I remember
You need to give yourself more credit.
Give yourself more credit. What's your DJ name?
Okay, so I've been contemplating a few different ideas. I'm gonna answer that real quick, and then the question, because
Yes,
I have
yeah.
a point that I feel like y'all
Yes.
are gonna like. DJ name, I'm considering Motopapi, but
Moto Papi.
I don't want Rosalia's team to sue me,
They're
because
gonna come after you.
her label's Sony. Like, they got money like that. I don't. I'm not trying to mess with y'all's lawyers. I just want to be a cutesy like bedroom DJ that's not like the other ones. That's it.
You're
But-
unique. Love.
Exactly. But by the way, they taught me that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was gonna briefly mention that like when Pujan and I were going through finals, like I think last year, we would straight up DJ in between studying. That's what happens here at the office sometimes. We have decks set up and we use music as an escape for a little bit, and it's really fun.
Undiagnosed ADHD in the works.
I mean, true.
No, like, and when I tell you it's better than any ADHD med I have ever taken in terms of treatment. I get all of my energy. It's zoomies.
Big fidget board.
Human zoomies. But to answer the question about like the technology gap between like back then and now, first off, vinyl DJs, I do not know how they do it with no waveform.
All by ear.
You have to
You
know
adjust.
that whole record by scratch, like by off the top of your head.
Yeah.
That's
well, you have to know
insane.
your music. Yeah.
No, but you really have to know your music. Like, there is no excuse. Like, if you were caught lacking back then in the 70s, like...
Yeah, like that was it. Because nowadays I feel like you can pull up like with your tracks loaded and not like really having played them. But you could not do that back then. Like, you have to know like what's on every single vinyl.
Exactly. Also, I feel like we've forgotten to talk about software in terms of how that's developed. Aphex Twins' albums, which Window Licker. Okay, so I just watched this YouTube video the other day, and the guy was talking about the DAW, the digital audio workstation, like the software that was used to develop the album, and it was a graphical interface that you would literally draw on, and
Yeah.
that is how Aphex Twin
heard that
made
one,
this album. And this software had low-key he like used in terms of like the spectrograms or whatever,
Yeah.
would import his own image on there and blend it with the music as well. And
What year? Like 90s?
yeah, so it was like infinitely more time consuming, laborious. It was so much harder to do that kind of thing. We have it easy now with not only FL Studio but Ableton. like even like in terms of DJing, because I don't even have decks. Like besides coming here to practice with y'all,
You're a laptop DJ.
yeah, there's a software.
iPad DJ.
No, seriously.
kidding.
iPad DJs go hard. Like, have y'all seen those videos of like Brazilian like iPad DJs with like the sound effects?
Hey.
Have you seen the ones where like the guys will like spin the controllers on their head?
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. There's like there's just like, you know, an infinite possibilities of expressing yourself with DJing.
And it's gotten, the thing is, the cost barrier has gotten lower and lower, but I will say it is still not the same, because we are spoiled here in the station by having like CDJ 2000 Nexus Mark IIs and then the AJM V9s or whatever. But what is it with DJ Pro? It does bridge the gap, but there's that missing physical. And to that extent, yesterday, I think I accidentally bidded on some DJ Flex 4s, and I think I accidentally bought it. I was trying to send a message about it.
Really? On eBay?
Yes, like last night. Oh my gosh.
When you accidentally buy DJ boards?
I'm not even joking. I'm trying to refund it right now.
Oh my gosh.
It might be a sign, but
Yeah.
Should we talk about this recent weekend that we've all experienced?
Oh my gosh, 3 points.
3 points. Let's
Oh
just
my
briefly
God.
touch on that. Just like
That was wild.
our little recap, like, you know, favorite show, like what was the vibe for you, Sylvia? I'm looking at you.
Honestly, first of all, it just feels like such a huge honor to be a part of the lineup again. I really do feel like, you know, they always do really well in that area of like connecting with the Miami community. And it's just like a huge honor to be a part of that. And to be like acknowledged, it's like very validating as well that like the path that you're continuing on with your music is going somewhere. But it was really nice. Like, I think my favorite out of all was Arca.
Oh my God, me
Of
too.
course.
Me
Yep.
too.
we're all mutants here.
Mutantes.
Mucho amor. Literally,
She
like,
was, yeah.
oh my
She
gosh.
was so beautiful.
I was
She
tell-
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I was telling Sylvia, like, imagine Arca's point of view, like looking at the stage, seeing like every like
Everybody
Latin,
crying. Yeah.
like every like Latina like crying, and like just like adoring her. Okay, that's it.
She is like also a crazy performer. Like, she had all of her props.
It was amazing.
Yeah, like that what is it, like the fog machine gun?
Yes, every so
That is
often she would grab it and like.
insane. What about you, Poojan?
I honestly have not talked to anybody about how I felt about Arca since 3 points, just because I've had no words until now. And like, I've been telling both of you guys actually for years about how much I wanted
To see Arca.
it literally, like, I still get like a little breathless from it. Like, we like I with my group, we waited like for so long through Bad Gal. We were front row, and then we were front row again for Arca. There's people pushing through us. It was a nightmare, but it was worth it, because Arca should be considered along the lines of FKA Twigs, Marina Abramovich, people who are true performance artists and interdisciplinary artists that are way beyond their time and talent. Like, she did all her deep cuts.
That's like what I love too. Like, she was, because she does different types of performances. Like, I've seen videos where she performs like where has a live set with hardware, but this was like all vocals. Like, it was like she was really like the star.
She gave us an extra song too. She's like, give me a moment to think about which song I want to play last. I'm like,
and it was like a beautiful song too. It was a Madre, which is just like a beautiful like ballad. But yeah, it was. She was like being so vulnerable with us. I feel like it was really nice. Felt like very personal. Bad Gal also. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
I was gonna say, Bad Gal. That was actually insane. Like, never have I seen someone that is literally perfect, head to toe, 360 degrees all the way around. Like, you could get a close-up zoom on like her calf, and it would still be like, oh my god,
flawless.
This is like so beautiful.
everything. If anyone had any doubts that she was not Mother, she proved
She
everyone
mothered.
wrong. Also,
She
that
mothered
backup
hard.
dancer.
The backup dancers were crazy.
literally, we noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was everything.
I'm low-key a little upset that she didn't perform Nueva York though, which I know, but
Shout out to all the smaller, not even smaller, just local artists that played. Shout out Xana and Lola, our besties.
Xana
2 plus 2
Lola.
equals what?
4.
That's just like a group chat name we have. Love them so much.
shout out these two for 3 points opening.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh, Sylvia, you and Alejo. Oh,
yo,
That
y'all
was
tour.
wild.
you guys
Y'all
were
tore
giving
down.
everything. It was giving like reunion behind
Like,
you guys.
ethereal vibes. Oh my god, yeah, that too. It was nice to have you guys up there, cause it was like I don't know if this is like a thing in Animal Crossing, but like when you turn around to like a crowd and everybody like jumps up.
Wii Sports bowling. When
That's
you throw
Wii
the ball
Sports bowling.
backwards.
That's what it felt like. Because every time we turned around to look at you guys,
We were like literally emoting, like
Did you-
dancing.
yeah.
Did you do the roof? Like the
The
visuals where we're
the visuals.
showing?
That wasn't us. That was like just I think one of their visuals. People.
But there was like really cool stuff happening on top of you.
Yeah, there was. I didn't notice it while we were playing, but after I saw the videos, I was like, whoa.
Production team was on point for your guys'
Yeah.
set. Like,
It's a whole team effort. And it passed by so quick. It's over. 3
Guys,
points.
it's over. It's like you build all this hype for it, and then it's just gone. Like you can't
Till
even.
next year, buy your tickets now. I'm just kidding.
profit pass only 9 cents down.
And honestly, that's another thing. Like you prepare so much for it that like it's like you black out when it's happening because you.
Let's
kind
talk
of
about that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just art.
No, because I guess like me personally, especially if I'm like really nervous or if it's just like a really big performance, you're just like so focused on like what you're doing in the moment that you're not even like registering
It's true.
like what's happening,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, wait.
After you're like, I'm deaf.
right.
You're
That's like all. It's
you're
the
like,
only
I-
emotion you register.
You're like, what?
I have a question for you too, though, on about your 3-point sets.
Sure.
So, how much did you guys like prepare the whole set, and how much was like like it was in the moment? There wasn't
Mhm.
how much of it was like improvised live, and how much of it was like planned? Because I've started reading some articles, and honestly, I've heard some DJs they're like 50-50 on it.
I got you with my answer at least. Yohari and I, Saturn Sorry, love you so much. Yohari. We didn't practice. I feel like as much as we did practice once, but honestly, like I feel like both her and I are really good at reading crowds at this point. So it was really fun to just improv, like you said, just like so. I would say it was a good like 75% improv, maybe even more, honestly, because we didn't really plan like exactly what track we're gonna play. We did plan out what genres we're gonna, take people on, like
The journey.
The journey.
a little genre journey, yeah. But the tracks, no, we didn't plan like each one, so maybe 80% improv.
Okay.
I feel like for me, I mean, Alejo and I definitely practiced, and we talked about like the journey too, and yeah, I think we both like understood each other, and we had like good chemistry as well when we were practicing.
Yes, that's everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that was like that gave us like more confidence to just like put more of our like each of our own styles into it, I guess. So that was really nice, and I got to play this one track that like I just really wanted to play for closing, and it was like this crazy like Miley Cyrus remix, like Jersey Club remix of See You Again. Well,
That one hits so hard.
it was it
A
was
wave
crazy.
of people started like I remember when you played it, like there was like a wave of people that started like rushing in after that.
People were
Aw.
like screaming. Because you had Sylvia played like the first stage as you entered, like the RC.
Yeah,
95.
RC95, yeah.
Which like echoed throughout the whole festival. So I thought it was so cool. Like when I went to the bathroom, like in the middle of your set, I just heard I just heard like, you guys playing. It was just so iconic. I'm like, that's bestie and Rumi.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What a
Yeah.
moment.
Shout out Alejo. Honestly, love him to death. I feel like he just made the experience like so much more like of an event because it was like nice just like caring so much about what performance we were going to be giving. And yeah, that was 3 points. It rained so much Friday.
Yeah, Friday was chaotic.
Saturday
Rain
was
on me,
definitely
soon on me.
we were like sardines in a can on Saturday. I literally was like trying to cross the street and I had to like stand in place for like a good 30 seconds because there were just so many people like crossing in front of me. So yeah, coronavirus part 5. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking about that today too. Oh my gosh. The diseases out there.
Yeah.
The rain plus humidity plus
All I'm
I don't
saying
know.
is-
It's giving disease.
Also, I feel like probably that day every like CVS within like a 5-mile radius was like sold out of earplugs because it was.
yeah.
I mean, I was like looking for them before I came and I just could not find any. And yeah, that was like another excruciating thing. But you had earplugs the whole time.
Yeah. Loop
Shout out
earplugs.
Steffi for being prepared.
Yeah, I think like protecting your hearing is so important. I used to like, I guess the first few years I didn't really see I just like wanted to just like experience everything, but now definitely DJing more and seeing myself doing this for a while. Like I wanna keep the level that I hear at, you know, like well, you know, because you want to be able to hear music and enjoy it. So wear your earplugs.
Yeah,
Not sponsored by Loop, but Loop earplugs are really great. They keep the sound like the highs and the lows pretty well balanced. So
they should give you a promo code at this point.
at this point, no, I'm kidding.
Loop, where you at?
Yeah, go ahead. Short break while Steffi
Short break.
goes potty. Let's do like a quick little. Here, do you want to scooch closer?
Real.
For the meantime, let's do a quick little. We're gonna share some images with you guys.
Oh my god.
Just give us 1 second. Maybe this,
Yeah.
and we can, there's like deeper meanings behind this, but
I feel like this one is very.
this first one, hopefully y'all can see it on the stream. But yeah, essentially, I got gay when I was 5. What exactly does that mean? Do you want to talk about like discovering your queerness and kind of like when that took place in your life?
Okay, yeah, so full confession, I've never really told anyone this because I didn't really realize it for a while. But I remember it started, like the Lacan mirror stage theory. It's really, I feel like I've really resonated with it as of lately. Because when I first like gained perception, like consciousness, looking at a mirror, like it's like my ego looking at myself, looking at my super ego or whatever, or id. But basically, I would like put a towel over my head because I wanted like long hair. And like there was one time I think my mom had these heels and I know it's so like cliche. I thought it was like a spur, like, a one-time thing, but me and my therapist started talking about it. And the reason why I mention this is because in the photo, it is a femboy twink in
Yeah,
the
I think this
garments.
is called Gotcha Life. It's like a YouTube series, but essentially that's what it is.
Okay, I've heard of the word gotcha, but like I know very little.
Oh, I don't even know. It just literally says Gotcha Life on YouTube. But
The
yeah.
cat ears, it reminds me of the Ariana Grande, the headphones, the ones that like light up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's another thing that's been so funny to me lately. Blackiana Grande, Arigato Grande. Arigato Grande, that's my favorite one.
Listen, I think after Wicked, Blackiana Grande might be coming back, I fear.
She's making a comeback, guys.
She's from Boca Raton, so like...
Right? Like, don't forget her roots.
She's from right here. Right here.
Steffi's back. We put up this one while you were gone.
Oh my god.
How do
Oh my
you
gosh,
feel about it?
Can you see it?
Yeah. But anyways, back to the conversation.
Which was?
We were just talking about like when we first discovered like our queerness.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Did you guys go already?
Well, yeah, we like dove into it a little bit, but I can talk about it, and if you want to like go,
Okay.
and then I'll go.
Okay, well, I'll share a little brief moment when we figured out we were, different.
As you know.
Queer. Okay, so I guess I've always known, like, I feel like I've always had crushes on like actresses and like actors too. But they were just like harmless little just like admirations. Like that's when, like, just looking back, I realized that, like, even at like a young age. But anyways, I feel like in high school that's when I fully came to term with the fact that I might be queer. So that's when that happened.
I feel like it was like for me probably when growing up, I don't know if this is like a universal experience, but you always have like those kind of weird interactions when you're like a kid that are like innocent because you don't really like know what it is to not be innocent, but like you grow up and then after the fact you realize that it actually wasn't innocent. So a lot of those moments when I was like growing up, but then I don't think I really started feeling like genuinely like nervous and like having feelings towards women until I was, or like I guess girls, when I was like in middle school. But I still, like, to this day, I've never like really been in a relationship with a woman. But it was something that, like, I just recognized within myself from like a young age. And yeah, that's my story. Do you want to say anything else, Poojan, on that?
You have me thinking. Like I'm going through like elementary school right now, just like digging through the files.
How about let's talk about like traumatic moments like when you're discovering your queerness, like among peers and school, etc.
The South Park fish stick meme. Middle school. Literally, like,
what is that?
Okay, so there's this episode of South Park where, there's, it's mocking Kanye West at the time. It was like 2008 and 9. And the whole premise of the joke was that, Kanye likes fish sticks. Fish sticks. Like the food that you get in the frozen, food aisle. Fish sticks. And like, so they keep saying this, and then Kanye comes out, like starts getting mad. He's like, yo, I don't like the frozen food fish elongated object item. I don't like that. And like, that's literally people in middle school. At first I was like getting bullied in middle school because like I was in a wheelchair doing PT for a little bit. Nothing crazy, casual like personality lore development. And then the year after, they clocked me for being queer before I even figured it out. Like, way to like cut, way to like.
They must have had a field day with you in PE.
I know. No, that's where it literally.
No, because I grew up like kind of obese. So you know how like they have to weigh you in PE. Every time they pulled the scale out, it was literally like a traumatizing moment. So, sister, I feel you on there.
How? Well, how is that legal? Like,
no. Why is it like a humiliation ritual? Like, why do you have to like stand in front of all these people like and get weighed? I mean, granted, like you probably don't care if you're like a normal weight, but for me, it was just crazy.
It's a humiliating act for everyone. Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why did we have to go through that?
I don't show people how when I weigh myself, even to this day. Like, my straight roommate, he'll be like, yo, like, he's like stepping on a scale, and he's literally like hit me up the other day. He's like, why don't you step on it? I was like, absolutely not. I would.
That's also like. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, that's.
I don't know why it's like a thing. I don't know if it's just like the Miami-Dade public school system, but they literally have all of these devices where they like measure your body fat, and like. It's these pincers that like measure how many inches of fat you have on your arm.
Wait, what?
And how many? Did nobody else experience this?
No, I don't think I went through that. But
I have no idea.
Say more.
No, because it was literally. Well, granted, it is like professional medical tools, but it is weird for it to be like just like in a PE class. But yeah, they just had all of these little like gadgets where they would like pinch your arm fat. They would be like.
Wait, yeah, I kind of do remember that. Like, yeah. A little bit.
But it's kind of just like the same concept with BMI. Like none of these things can accurately like really say like you're obese or anything. It's just kind of like taking a measure of like a physical part of your body.
It just makes you so aware at a young age. Like just being. It just makes you aware. It just makes you aware.
we had like the fitness pacer stuff in my county, like North Central Florida, kind of rural vibes.
Shout out if you didn't pass the what was it, like the push-up test? What were the tests that you had
Fitness
to
gram
take?
pacer
The
test.
It was
fitness gram pacer test.
pusher, push up. There was like, I think not like a rowing one, but something with your hands or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, the
Like,
mile,
something like
running the
that.
mile.
I
That's
got-
something else.
I mean, no, yeah, there were kids in my grade who like, it was like 3rd grade when they did it, and this was in the peak of like the Obama administration's, like, you know, they were like revamping the school system, so they were changing the lunches and changing the health
Michelle
guidelines
took
as
away
well.
our cheese sticks.
She
Oh,
took
she
these brownie
did.
cups that I have had this like craving for, that they do not sell anywhere publicly. I don't know how they're made. I don't know where. There was something that they put in there that just activated a chip in my brain in 3rd grade that I can't.
The memory now doesn't exist now.
The sustenance.
I need it.
Guys, we need to put the microplastics back in the food because like it's just not hitting anymore.
It's not.
What's all with this all organic, sweet green, GMO free?
No,
Not-
but low key, guys. Okay, so as we're approaching our mid-20s, let's talk.
I'm kidding.
Let's
I'm
talk
just.
about how everything is suddenly bad for us. Not that that even has anything to do with queer nightlife. I'm sorry for getting off topic, but
No, it's fine. These are
Yeah.
important topics.
Some people would say queer nightlife is bad for our physical health in the 20s.
What?
Not me though. I think
Gag
it's.
it.
I think it's life saving.
love-hate relationship, I guess.
So why is everything bad for us in our mid-20s? What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I think maybe it's just like something I've been experiencing. I feel
No,
like
you're
as-
not. You're not the only one, for sure.
As we get older, our bodies just stop like, you know, being in prime condition. We gotta all. I
Yeah.
don't know. Me personally, yeah, no sugar anymore, except today with this little Red Bull. But yeah, but honestly, it's just good to take care of yourself as you get older. Like even just like doing things like meditating. You meditate a
Yes,
lot.
We started that journey.
Getting our vinyasa on.
Mm-hmm.
All of that.
Yeah. Mental health, physical health.
You know,
You get older, it's inevitable.
Oh my god, yeah. So speaking about mental health, let's play the next image. Hopefully I'm really sorry if it's like super blown out. I can't tell from this angle. But
it's kind of showing up.
so what exactly do these words mean? I don't give
What's
give
so
a F
funny?
if you transgender. Clean yo damn microwave. How does that apply to like what we were just talking about? I just feel like there's a lot of like mental health issues within the queer community, and you know also like as an extension the trans community, and that just like leads to a lot of executive dysfunction. And you know, just when you think about it, like when you live your day-to-day life and how like the world that you live in and how you present yourself to the rest of the world, like in turn affects how you're living, you know, your daily life, even like when you're not around anybody, like, you know, just your at-home life, and how that leads to executive dysfunction to the point where you like stop taking care of yourself and like your surroundings. But yeah, that's just something that's like so present in the queer community, you know, as a result of not fully feeling like you integrate into the rest of the world, at least if you're
Yeah.
not like fortunate enough to be part of an accepting community.
Yeah. It's hard.
Because then you have to find that kind of community too, if you don't already have it and have that support.
Yeah. It's just like a toxic cycle that like starts with just like the resources available. Like there isn't, like I feel like, and just like the laws. It's just so
Yeah, that's
It-
another
it's
thing
really
about
hard.
like living in Miami. It can be demotivating. Well, I understand like how it can be demotivating living here as someone that's like visibly doesn't like conform to like the binary way of presenting that like, you know, in the system that we live in. So I can understand how, especially with like Ron DeSantis and all of that, here in Miami it can be like like every day, as every day goes by, like you're just less and less accepted. And And it's crazy to me how that has just like fed so much into our school systems as well,
Yeah.
with like Don't Say Gay and like all of these other like things that shouldn't even be a part of like you shouldn't have something in an environment where you're like raising children that is going to make them feel like they're not accepted within it. But yeah, do you guys want to expand on that, like legislation here and how that's been like a trip?
I think a lot of it, especially with like the Don't Say Gay bill that was passed, I view it as political theater where the consequences are longer lasting into kind of the subculture of Floridians here. I mean, I feel all of us have lived here for a considerable amount of time, I would say. And I feel like if there's one thing that this place, you know, has that I feel like a lot of people from up north or just like outside of Florida don't get, is that despite the reputation that we have, not everyone is like that. And despite those circumstances, communities like ours still will thrive. If it just becomes much more of an arduous task. And I think that the real risk here that runs into like the way our community is being, you know, perceived is, you know, I mean, it does go back to the educational system at the end of the day, because, you know, while these bills may not, you know, while there may be some teachers that rebel here and there, some may catch some flack for it, some may not. Some districts will claim that they are like, you know, being in compliant with this bill and they won't. But the kind of long-term impact for the future generation here is something that I fear, where, I mean, if you're queer and you're growing up in that kind of system to the point where you can't even talk to your own teachers about it, or there are provisions within the bill that allows them to kind of out you and put you in more of a risk to your parents, like that is the real unsettling part about this kind of thing. Those long-term kind of impacts that do have a tangible impact on the rest of your life trajectory. Like, these are not things that I feel like, you know, we should, like, as a collective, like sleep on. And also just with the way that our own mere existence in this kind of community, especially Miami, it is kind of demoralizing, especially within the backgrounds we come from. All of us are visible POC, and queer. So in Miami, which means that we're not going to meet the archetype in the first place. And if we're loud about that, then we're vilified, which add that on top of the current geopolitical climate that's here. And it's honestly a nightmare to live in, but there's still the only kind of like authentic community that there is, despite all of that, is the queer music community here.
Right.
Yeah, that's like circling back to like how important these like spaces should be, and how like they should be safe. And
yeah, that's something that, because it is like a form of escape at the end of the day. Like, you want to be able to go to a place where you can stop thinking about just like how bad the rest of the environment that you currently live in is, especially if it's, you know, somewhere where you don't feel accepted. And these places have always like historically been a form of escape. I mean, that's just like music in general, but like specifically to these queer communities, it's always been like a form of escape. And yeah, that's like, preserving that is so important, and maintaining those kinds of spaces is like so essential at the end of the day to like maintaining these communities. Because if you don't have a place where people feel like they can connect with people that are like them, eventually like those communities are just going to fizzle out. You know what I mean? So having those places is super, super important. And shout out to like collectives that are doing that, like Internet Friends and like Perro del Futuro, Masisi. Shout out Masisi. We had them on here recently too. But all these places are so essential to just maintaining the livelihood of these communities, or not the livelihood, but like the long-term continuity of like these communities within Miami. So yeah, super appreciative of that always.
I mean, that's how we protect countercultural spaces.
Right.
You know, that kind of obligation, it's on us, you know. I feel like this is something that we've also talked about, you know, privately between the three of us, but like especially in the context of like the station too. You know, if you think about the brand heritage of like, you know, its origins in the 60s as a pirate radio station, and kind of like the ragtag clan nature of you know, members that really created the identity of this, and how this institution itself had an impact, a really profound one on the Miami alt music scene at large. Kind of becomes, you know, like a responsibility, whether you're in the radio station or in the music sphere, to kind of like keep that spirit alive. Because if it wasn't for that, what else are these mainstream posers gonna copy off of? Like,
Right.
you know, someone's got to innovate here, and this is a hotbed right here that I feel like a lot of music execs and a lot of like people in power choose to ignore, in terms of like raw talent, with that like Latina techno sound as well, which I've seen New York tries to emulate it. They kind of get it, but there's something different here that's just like,
Miami did it first? Question mark? No, not even Miami.
Well,
South America, Latin America. Did it
Yeah,
first.
true. But I guess within the U.S.
Within the U.S.
Was it us?
Was it us? Was it
Well,
Miami?
maybe. We can never really know.
it's
Do
just
any
like,
of you know?
it's a new
prominent.
wave of sound, though. It's a new wave, you know, creation that, you know, you guys are kind of like going on this journey with, and you know, you have other people within like the age demographic that's kind of doing the same thing. But in Miami, you know, essentially we're kind of like representing the Latina diaspora population at large within the music, which is why I think it's ever more important to think about talent coming here that way. I feel like the music industry is always one step backwards.
Really?
It
Backwards?
takes
Well, yeah, definitely, because
a disruptor to get them to realize it.
Okay.
yeah, that's like where all of these things that go viral, like, honestly, even with like the whole popularity that like hardstyle and like that viral like techno sound has, but it's always like just been ripped off of like these smaller underground communities that are like the real pioneers of the sound, and are the ones that contributing to like that change in the landscape, and how that contributes to like the change in the scene over time too. But yeah, of course, like throughout history, that's always been the case. Like, credit is never really given where credit should be given, and all of these like, no specific examples come to mind, but like feel free to jump in if you guys do think of something. But just like artists that make one song in a genre and then like that song blows up and they all of a sudden get like this credit. Oh, I guess like when Drake was doing that whole like house music album, and it was like nobody's doing this, and like that is so crazy to me, because even if you like,
He
all it
pioneered
takes,
he pioneered it.
My
literally
favorite
takes-
Jamaican.
that's another Blackiana Grande situation. But it literally takes 30 seconds to look into like a genre, like literally search up a playlist on Spotify, like I don't know, it's just people's introductions to these genres that have like historically been part of like underground communities should not be like what their introduction to it is, like all these mainstream artists that are kind of just robbing the sound.
That was much needed to hear.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sylvia.
Let me see. Are we ranting, y'all? Okay, it's officially been an hour.
I have something like
Yeah, we can talk
one,
more.
one
but
last
yeah.
question to, I guess,
Yeah.
transition it off to current times. But I just wanted to ask you guys like what you're looking forward to and like what's happening right now in Miami. Just like a little news segment for the music scene, of course. But I wanted to bring up that this Saturday at Willie's, the neighborhood gay bar, there's going to be an event called the Gag Ball for Halloween. It's free if you come in costume. It's organized by Internet Friends and Corruption, two amazing queer collectives, my safe spaces. You should totally come. Totally pass by.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'll be in Masquerade, so
Oh.
I don't think any of you will recognize me, but
like a Bridgerton kind of mask.
no, yeah, because I mean that's what
It's a
my
ball.
interpretation of it is. Well, like to be honest, the only thing that I'm probably gonna wear that's like super like wow, that's you're going to a ball
Gag?
is like the masquerade and a corset and
Ooh.
who knows what else. But
Oh my gosh. Wait,
You
it's
gotta
a
go a little gothic with it.
yeah, true,
Yes.
probably because it is corruption.
yes.
There will be some sort of metal involved.
Gag.
Already in advance, congrats to all those winners that win the best costume.
Right? Like,
You guys.
oh my god,
are my favorite
our
people ever.
duo costume will tear.
Yeah.
You guys can be sure of that.
Is it what you guys talked about before at Casa Luz near FIU? The idea y'all were pitching?
Well, what is it? Well, I mean, we can talk about it. It's not like a. We're not
No,
gonna
let it
do
be
like a big
revealed.
reveal.
I wanna
You show
keep
up
a
in, like,
little
trench
element of
coats.
surprise.
No, it is. Yeah, it is that.
Period.
But we can talk about it. Like,
It's gonna eat. No. Y'all gotta go on the Instagrams.
you're like, we're actually not talking about it.
You use that as a marketing segue, a call to action.
Okay.
At Data Breach, at SDRV, costume reveal.
Yeah, costume reveal. Like, you guys only.
We're gonna be
no
looking
photos. You have to be there in person to see it.
Honestly, yeah. And we'll leave it at that.
Cause it's gonna be 2 NSFW for photos. No, I'm just kidding. Probably not. We're not like.
You heard it here.
We're not crazy. Not that it's crazy to do that.
No, everyone go off. Express yourself.
That's
this
what I love
Halloween.
about going to these places, like especially corruption, like just seeing full like, just like oh my god, like really pushing the boundaries of like how you can express yourself with what you wear. It's like really nice to see.
And like, you know, you go to these spaces though, and sometimes I have like a Charlotte from a Sex and the City moment where it's like, I'm gagged. I'm like looking at like,
You're like, I thought I was a freak.
nah.
But actually,
Like, no, seriously, because sometimes I'll be like, am I a prude? Like,
oh my god, no, honestly, yeah. But I mean, that's what's nice about it. Like
Yeah.
everybody's deepest desires come to the light. I don't think this will probably be my first time at Willie's. I don't think I've had the chance to go yet.
Yeah, it's a really nice spot. Definitely.
I love it. I love it. They did something. They cooked. They
You-
cooked.
right in the
You
middle
played
of
there
Linwood.
recently, right?
Yeah, for the Charlie like pre-party before her concert. That was a rough night for me, but it was a lot of fun. Willie's was a great spot. What else is also random, but on the 31st Halloween night, Witches of Miami. Literally, I'm so excited. I'll be playing alongside Bozito and Xana and Lola at Gramps. Just a Halloween party, you know, for the queers, for the queers and their ghoul friends.
Meow.
Yeah.
Love it when all like the femme all of you are really like femme powerhouses. I feel like y'all really
Power.
attract like the femme crowds in Miami. So
Femme tops.
it's literally gonna be like sapphic AF energy in that room.
Doll Witches of Miami show up too. We gotta get some doll representation up in here.
That too.
Period.
No, Gramps is so cute. I mean, they haven't thrown a lot lately.
No, I haven't been to Gramps in so long.
what happened to the Taylor Swift sing along nights? That's what I want to know.
What happened to their pizza? I'm hungry.
Oh my gosh, that's what did happen to the pizza? I don't know. Maybe they're going through like a change in management. I really like do not know, but trust that they will come back better than ever.
But you know which venue is popping? Over Under. Shout out Ashley. Shout out everyone at
Overundies.
Over Under.
Yup.
Yeah, shout out Ashley. Like it really takes a person with taste to like really
Literally.
come up like to curate that kind of like I guess hype around like your venue.
The limited edition food collabs that they do, in particular, 1 week they did Indian food. I don't know how these white people cook. It was good. It was so good. Oh my god. Like, white people Indian food, I never thought it would be as good as it was. Over Under literally, I don't know, changed my perspective.
We're
Had
such
me
fans.
gagged.
Shout out their oysters. Literally, what helps me beat the Sunday scaries. They're $1 oysters on Sundays.
Oh my gosh. You heard it here. $1 oysters.
Not sponsored
Get on
or
that.
anything. I just really love oysters.
And they're frozen palomas.
So much.
And they're frozen palomas.
Yeah, those two. But we might go there today actually, maybe? Question mark? I don't really know what's going on, y'all. Like we have not
It's
talked
Thursday
about
night, guys.
It's a Yohari
It's
event.
Thursday night. Yeah, shout out Yohari for turning up literally any place. Monday, Tuesday, does not matter the day of the week.
No, like my coworker.
People will be there.
My coworker, she texted me like my coworker like, Willies are over under, and I looked at over under's like story, and it said like DJ like Saturn Star. I was like, yeah, no one's gonna be at Willies except for like the white queer men that love Dua Lipa. I'm not trying to be there.
It's gonna be like Kylie Minogue and Madonna all night.
Oh my god, I love
Willies.
them.
Like time and place. I'm not a hater.
Time and place.
I really do.
How
love
dare the white gay men be at the gay bar, guys?
How dare they?
Oh,
it's
my
a
gosh.
joke. Very visibly queer.
No, yeah. Also, that's another like thing. Wilton Manor, first time there when they did the collab Perreo de Futuro.
Yes,
and
that was so
yeah.
iconic. The best collab.
That was a crazy collab.
Fort Lauderdale actually has a good queer community. I just,
Mhm.
I think. Wait, you guys should mention this because you guys talked about it first. That other room in Manor.
Yeah, that's where they were having like that activation. Wow.
Which room? I feel like a lot of the rooms were open. I feel like that.
Oh
night.
wait, actually no. I only saw like the the main stage and like that stage in the back.
Where Domicile does their stuff now.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
before, because I used to go to Willie's a little bit before like they started going over there, and that room was just largely unused.
Oh, the Manor, you mean?
Yes, the Manor. My bad.
The Manor.
The Manor's such a staple. By the way, that's where I had like that's like the first club I've been to when I was like underage.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
100
Allegedly.
Gex also allegedly performed there too.
What?
I think so. I kept hearing something about it. I don't know how true it is. So like slight misinformation possibly, but I did hear that like someone from 100 Gex was like there at least. But I do love how they're bringing in a new crowd where you have like the domicile people taking over that small room, because before it was low key like a Folsom Street kind of event. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I can't say more on radio, but it's very like San Francisco white queer kind of thing. Men. Yeah. But now it's a little more like there was always a crowd of people that were like, you know, that just wanted to dance. And now
I
there's
remember.
more of that.
Like, are you talking like 2018, 20 like 17 vibes?
You like 2018 to like 2021.
Or even before? Oh, okay, I see.
I would say like that period of time was very like they have like a leather gay shop right next to the club. Like they have like those kinds of things there. It's very like older queer male retiree town with like the uns music vibe at that one street.
Mm-hmm.
But
Unter vibes. Was that place
Unter.
called Unter?
Unter. In New York. Shout out New York too.
I'm in
Love you.
I'm in love
Shout
with
out the
Bushwick.
entire state of New York. I heard your bagels would not be what they were without the special water
Wait,
that
for
comes
real?
from the faucets. Oh my gosh.
What is
a little bit of UM lore. They have like these markets here on Wednesdays, and there's like this one bagel stand, and they literally import the bagels from New York because, well, this is probably like a common fact, but I did not know it. But the water in New York just has like a different, I guess, like chemical makeup than the water here. So like the dough just tastes better.
Oh my.
And that's like in a good way. Like New York has really good water, from what I've heard.
Oh yeah, it's like apparently really clean. Like one of the.
Like you can drink
Yeah.
the tap water.
Yeah,
there.
Like the
tap
one
water's just
here, they
normal to
like
drink.
they pump that like full of chlorine and like whatever else. So
Miami could not.
Miami can never.
Literally like one
Maybe one
semester in
day.
the dorms here, my skin started breaking out. I went one day back to my parents' place in rural Florida, and my skin cleared up that same day. So ever since I've gotten like a shower filter, and I've just taken it with me everywhere I go, because really there's like a lot of like hard water deposits and stuff like that here.
I was gonna make a joke, that like what do you guys think? Are you guys gonna go to the underwater raves when Miami is underwater?
Yes.
Yes.
The Atlantis raves. It's gonna be like the
Miami's the new Atlantis. The next Atlantis.
guys. It's scary out here. Like
Florida is
Why
the
do you think
next
they're
Atlantis.
building everything on stilts?
Yeah, literally.
Like there's gonna be a live playback of this video on like an old broken iPad at the bottom of like the ocean, like just playing on loop forever, and that's gonna be like all that's left of Miami.
If you found this, you won. What?
Maybe this will be archived and like it's used as like a reference clip for like 50 years in the future to like talk about how
Aliens.
much Miami has drowned since.
Oh my gosh. We're in that documentary.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, archiving is so important, so necessary. And I'm really, really thankful for Sylvia for like doing this today and like having this like be on Twitch, like video form, and also streaming on radio on the FM.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we. I kind of wanted to show a video. I'm not sure if the audio is gonna play, but we can all like react to it. I guess.
And then music.
And then music, yes, to close us off. Hopefully it'll actually play.
Are people chatting in on the stream?
A few people, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, moment of truth.
There's so much you don't know about me. Because every time I go out with y'all and I need to have just a couple drinks, you'll make me drink alone.
Don't make me drink alone.
Oh my gosh, your dolphin running. So this is every time I see
I haven't
these,
seen
I
this.
just think people are so creative. I'm Wendy.
Why is he skipping?
No, I'm Wendy.
Oh my gosh, is that Shane?
He's running to the Wendy's.
But yeah, I just wanted to share this because like I feel like these kind of compilations have become like such a trend lately. But
I love her.
I don't know. I feel like people are just like so creative.
Count your days.
What the sick?
Peak brain rot material. These editors now, they do it all on their phones through CapCut. No one's trying to learn how to do Adobe Premiere anymore, like a tutorial from YouTube. They didn't do
Right?
it like how we had to do it. Now they do it all. I don't know half the stuff they do on TikTok now. I can't catch up. Cause I'm thinking like, oh, you got to do After Effects for like an inertia effect with the text or whatever. Nah, they're whipping it up in 5 minutes on their own from scratch, not even a template.
For real.
Gen Alpha actually insane.
Gen Alpha goated.
They're making brain rot material.
Everyone,
however.
check your screen time right now and text us. If you're real, you're going to text us how many hours you spend
Text us a screenshot if you're really
on social
real.
media.
Tag us.
So what's the number? 786?
786. Honestly, type it in the
309.
chat, but yeah, you can also text us. Yeah, it's 786 309 8861.
Again, it's 786 309 8861. Text us anything, but
Call now
Your
for
screen
a free
time, preferably.
consultation.
Right. All right. So sorry we went overtime. Not that like sorry, not sorry. We had a great conversation. I
we
feel
did. This was the most I've ever talked in an EKL episode. I feel like I always focused it, like with my time here, on just like interviewing the artists, getting to know them, and mostly just the music too. But this was fun. More of this.
Like, no, you're the artist.
How does
We
it feel
interviewed.
to be seen?
We're all artists. To be seen.
We're all artists.
Yeah.
Feels
The
great.
tables are turned.
The table. Yeah. We see you. We
Seen.
hear you.
Aw.
You're good. All right.
What kind of music are y'all about to play?
Yeah. What are you gonna play for us, Steph?
Just some new songs I've been listening to. Electronic, Latin club, electro, different genres.
Possibly your track. One of your tracks. maybe?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Potentially.
You're gonna have to
Um,
announce it right before.
No. Soon.
Thank you guys for joining us on
Thank you
this
so
rant.
much.
Thank guys for having
Yeah,
me.
hopefully more of these to come in the future. But yeah, make sure y'all keep it locked. We're gonna get started with SDRV.
Woo!